Hi, I'm Chris Kezelos, the director from The Maker, and I'm here with Mark Lagana, boy genius, animator, and person who created Dollies for the film.
Hi everyone.
Now, a dolly is a specialized piece of film equipment designed to create smooth camera motion, and here's an example of Mark's dollies being used in The Maker. These beautiful, slow, panning shots. Not that one, but this next one. And we're going to talk about the three different kinds of dollies that he built for this production. One of them is a pipe dolly. Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about that dolly?
This was the most inexpensive, definitely. It was all recycled materials. The drive mechanism, I used 35mm film from pretty much the scrap film from each end of a trailer from a cinema.
And that's because you're a projectionist, is that right? You have
Yeah,
ample amounts of film?
yeah. Well, we chuck it out all the time, so I couldn't really go past it.
So what made film the perfect solution?
It's really light to use, and it's also really durable, so you can put a lot of tension on it, and it won't stretch. Yeah, it just made sense at the time.
The next dolly that we'll talk about is the scanner dolly. I actually gave Mark an old scanner that I had lying around. It worked perfectly, but I didn't need it anymore. And Mark managed to turn this into a dolly as well. How did you do that, Mark?
Pretty much just junked everything you don't need, the top, the glass, and yeah, the benefits of the scanner is that it's not just a motor driving the belt, it's got its own gearbox. So you have a nice gear ratio there, and so for close-ups you can do much smaller increments. You can have a much higher resolution, which we ended up using for all of the close-up shots. It worked really well.
So the next dolly is the bicycle wheel dolly, and I had this grand idea where I'd like to have this 360-degree shot of the camera moving around the makers whilst they're hugging at the end. And so I put together this rough 3D mock-up of how I imagined it would work, and I sent it through to you, and you made it.
Yeah.
Tell us about what went into that. Here's a shot, actually, of your first attempt.
Well, you can see it's using a bike wheel on its side, which I think was my dad's idea, because it's got an excellent bearing system in it, like a thrust bearing kind of, and it's free again. And then it was my idea to use film basically, and as you can see there, the drive mechanism, it sits on a very strong spring and provides tension, and the film just grips the rubber
And
and
so here's
turns
a
it.
shot of it actually working. And what's the yellow and green thing there that's pulling it?
The two pulleys, they're taken from spools of trailers, I think, and they're just keeping the film on the gear, wrapped around the gear pretty much.
Right, so you can see that there's the two wire armatures on top. Here's a final shot of what it would have looked like. But unfortunately, at the last minute, I had a change of heart and trashed the whole idea after you built it. I just felt that the shot was too long for the film. Here's the final shot of what I ended up doing, a simple panning shot. But I needed it to be a lot quicker in the end. But, top job anyway.
Yeah,
If
it's
people
still
want
a
to
good
ask you,
exercise.
it was a good exercise. If people want to ask you any questions about any of these dollies, how can they find you?
Google Plus, Mark Lagana, Lagana.
Great. Well, thanks for your time and thanks for all your excellent work, Mark.
Thank you, Chris.